Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here, and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today, guys, I'm going to continue my AFL 2024 round reviews and round previews. In today's video, going to be reviewing round 10 and previewing round 11. Starting off with the previous round review, round 10. Thursday night, it was the Gold Coast Suns that defeated the Geelong Cats by 64 points at TIO Stadium. Friday night footy saw the Swans defeat the Blues by 52 points. First game Saturday was Collingwood beating Adelaide in yet another thriller by 4 points, and the Doggies probably being the upsetters of the round, defeating the Giants by 27 points at NG Stadium. Saturday night saw Fremantle defeat the Saints by 17 points at Marvel. Brisbane smashed the Tigers by 119. Sunday's first game saw Essendon take care of North Melbourne by 40 points. Port Adelaide pull off a remarkable comeback by just one singular point, and probably also the upset of the round as well. West Coast defeating Melbourne by 35 points. Now to the ladder, Sydney are on top, getting a bit of separation from the next side, which Essendon is second. You can go ahead and pause the ladder if you'd like to see the full thing. And the Coal Medal is a very interesting race at the moment, with a four-way top of the table tie with Ben King, Jesse Hogan, Jake Waterman and Charlie Kerner all on 29 goals each. Alright, now it's time for the round 11 preview, starting off with Thursday night footy at Marvel Stadium. It's going to be the top of the table Swans playing the Western Bulldogs at Marvel. And this is a big game, probably for the Western Bulldogs more so than Sydney, because if they can win this game, they can A, be one of the big upsetters of the round, and B, get a string of form going, and beating two quality sides in the process would be a really good confidence boost for the Dogs. And I'm pretty sure they're playing Collingwood next week, which is another huge game for them. But if they can get the win here, they're going to have a lot of confidence for their season and for the next couple of weeks as well, because they've got a challenging stretch, the Western Bulldogs, coming up over the next few weeks. So they need to get a few wins in that stretch. And this is a game which they'd love to win, and I'm not saying it's going to be impossible, but it is definitely going to be challenging, because the Swans, they're doing everything right. They're top of the table team for a reason, and at the moment they are causing separation. There's separation growing, and for teams that are chasing to be the minor premier, it's going to be pretty hard if Sydney can already have a significant gap. Come later on in the year, it'll be hard to chase them. So every team is chasing them at the moment. They're at the top of the table, but of course you've got to be a good side to be there. And I think they're going to continue on their winning ways. The Swans, they're so hard to tip against at the moment. I reckon they're going to win this game, and not just win well, 32 points. Friday night footy is going to be at Optus Stadium. It's going to be Fremantle taking on Collingwood at Optus Stadium. This one is another big game. Lachie Schultz playing up against his former side in Fremantle, of course, and I mean, more than that, though, this is just such an important game for both these two sides. Fremantle would love to knock off another quality opponent in Collingwood. And, well, I mean, of course, Collingwood, they're just going along nicely at the moment, and the wins are important for them to try and hold on to a place in the top 8, and most importantly, chase a top 4 position as well. And Fremantle, they're just trying to hang around the 8 at the moment. It's a big chasing pack, but 2 losses can definitely separate you from the rest of the pack pretty quickly when it's a very tight competition like this, and 2 wins can excel you as well. So very important for the winner of this game. Now, this is a 50-50 game for the round. I think it'll be a really good game, but Fremantle have got to kick straight. If they don't kick straight, they will lose this game, and the margin could be something which they're not very happy with. I think the Pies will win this game by 16 points. I think it'll be a little bit too strong, and Fremantle might kick inaccurately. First game Saturday is going to be North Melbourne versus Port Adelaide at Blunston Arena. This one is definitely going to be another interesting game. North Melbourne back at Blunston Arena after showing some promising signs last week against Essendon. They didn't play horribly. They actually played all right for most of the game, but did fall away in the third quarter and later on. And Port Adelaide, well, I mean, that was a game they wouldn't have overly enjoyed, but in the end, it was a crazy finish, and they get the 1-point win, but it definitely wouldn't have been their best performance of the year by any means. They really had to turn it on in the last quarter, and Hawthorn just closed the gates too early, and in the end, the door was left ajar the whole quarter for the Power to storm home and win, which is what they did. They did take advantage of it. Now, I do think Port Adelaide are too strong in this game. I think they're going to win this game by 61 points, which is probably a bit harsh on North, but I do think the Power is too strong. But North, though, it'll be interesting to see whether they show some signs. Also, same time, early game Saturday is going to be Carlton taking on Gold Coast at Marvel Stadium. This one is another big game, 10th versus 8th. This one should be pretty good. Now, Damien Hardwick doesn't normally like going to Marvel Stadium. Well, it'll be interesting to see. This is his first trip there as Gold Coast coach. Has the tides changed? Now, of course, if they get the upset here, this is a huge win for the Gold Coast Footy Club. It'll really give them confidence over making finals, and then they've beaten a quality opposition. But of course, to beat Carlton, you've got to beat Kerno and Mackay. That's the real test up forward. The two big boys up there for the Blues. Tom De Koning goes up there as well, and it's a star-studded midfield. Their defence is injury ravaged at the moment, which do mean the Gold Coast key forwards have an opportunity. But this one's going to be a good game. There's going to be stars all over the field. I do think Carlton are going to be too strong. I think they're going to win by 26 points, but Gold Coast are definitely not out of this one for an upset. In the twilight this round, it's going to be Geelong taking on the Giants at GMHBA Stadium. In this fixture last year, the Giants did cause the upset. What a big upset it was. And, well, of course, the Cats are going to be out seeking revenge this year. And both these two sides have been falling the last few weeks. They've fallen, they've lost a few games that really by their standards would be winnable. I mean, the Giants went into the Essendon and Bulldogs games favourites, and the Cats went into those games that they lost against Port Adelaide and Gold Coast as favourites as well. So both these two sides have lost some games they would have been favourites in and would have been a better chance of the opposition to winning the other games. So just definitely a little note there. This one is going to be a season changer for the winner. The winner needs a win, and when you've got these two big top 8 sides that do play each other, especially when they're out of form, the winner the winner will get back in form and could have a run. So the winner here is so important in this twilight fixture. The winner is so important. As I said, I think the Cats will be too strong. They're good at GMHB. I think they'll win by 11 points. They don't want to lose 2 in a row at that venue. Saturday night, dream time at the G is going to be Richmond taking on Essendon at the MCG. Essendon are in second. They've risen as of late. They've been one of the big rises, of course, after that horrible gather round loss. They've turned things around really well. They've won all those games apart from drawn with Collingwood, which they were really impressive in that game. And the Tigers, well, they've been the flip side of that. They've been unimpressive. They do have reasons. They do have reasons as to why that's the case. So many of their stars are injured and then put that without a form players. It is really not looking good for Richmond. It's not a good season. That's why they're in 17th and they've got poor percentage. They got destroyed last week and the week prior. This one could be another similar game. I think it will be. I think Essendon will get a comfortable 79-point win. First game Sunday, Hawthorn taking on Brisbane at Marvel Stadium. The Hawks do know how to cause a good upset over Lions, and these two sides know how to play good games of footy. This one at Marvel Stadium, normally it can be at G, but this one is at Marvel, and it probably favours Brisbane more than the Hawthorn, but the Hawks have played pretty well at some of their games at Marvel this year as well. Now, the Lions, they needed the win last week to say the least. They've been getting back into their season. They've been rebuilding it, and this is a game which they cannot afford to slip up against a Hawks side that, when they bring their best, are pretty good. And we saw that last week for 3 quarters. They brought their best against Port Adelaide, and I'd expect that if they're in the game or in front at 3-quarter time, I would expect them to win this game. I think that after what happened last week, I don't think they're going to close down too early. I think they're going to fight till the end. That's what they've got to do. You've got to play 4 quarters of footy to win in this competition, especially how tight and close it is. You've got to play 4 quarters of footy to win games, and I think if they're in this game at 3-quarter time, I think they'll definitely be extremely competitive in the last quarter. I think Brisbane are going to be too strong, though. They've just got some really important key pillars all over the ground, which this thing are going to deny Hawthorn opportunities. I think they're going to win the game by 28 points. Now the Sunday Channel 7 game is going to be MCG. It's going to be Melbourne taking on St Kilda. Melbourne, that was a crazy loss last week, and West Coast really did outplay them. West Coast did look really good with the ball in hand, and Melbourne just did not. They looked slow. They just weren't set up as well as West Coast were on the day, and St Kilda, they've just been struggling to score. They've just been struggling, in all honesty. Like, they do pride themselves in the defence, but they have been letting through a lot. They let through 9 goals 17 last week, and or 9 goals 18, I think it was, and they wouldn't be overly happy with that either, letting through a big number of scores like that when an area you pride yourself on is your defence. And Melbourne's defence wasn't great last week either against West Coast either. So both these two sides are 2 more sides which need a win, and Melbourne have been falling a bit as of late as well. They find themselves in 7th, and St Kilda definitely not ideal for them in 14th. I think Melbourne are too strong. I think they're going to win by 34 points, but the winner here is just simply huge, as this round is really showing. The winner is important, and the loser could be going through a real rough patch at the moment as well. Now, the Sunday twilight game, the last game of the round, is going to be Adelaide taking on West Coast at the Adelaide Oval. West Coast, start with them. It was a brilliant win last week against Melbourne. They moved the footy well. They looked really good, and they're going to be very competitive at Optus Stadium this year. Now, they've got to bring that same game style to every venue they play at if they want to be a chance to win a few more games than what they may, because of course winning at home is good, but winning away from home is another thing, and they'd love to do that as well. And this one is against the Crows. Now, the Crows, they were alright against Collingwood. They played well at parts, and they also played poorly at parts, so it'll be interesting to see how they go in this one. I think the Crows will be a little bit too strong. They're good at the Adelaide Oval, win by 26 points, but I do think West Coast will well and truly be in this game, and it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. So this round, we've got some huge games of footy, of course, really important for the winner and the loser. We'll go back through my tips. So there's Sydney, Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Carlton, Geelong, Essendon, Brisbane, Melbourne, and Adelaide, but there's definitely potential for upsets, and as I said before, there's really big games here where there's two sides that need a win, and there's just some huge games this round. Alright, here is my predicted ladder after round 11. Things definitely getting very interesting on the ladder. Make sure you pause if you want to see the full thing. And that'll be it for today's video. So as I said, huge round 11 of footy coming up. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Bye everyone. Flame Footy out.